Listen, avoidants are not afraid of love. They're afraid of loving the wrong person. For years, they've been mislabeled cold, distant, even incapable of intimacy. But that's dead wrong. The truth, avoidants feel deeply. They just learned early on that showing it wasn't safe. And here's the twist. When they finally trust someone, that bond isn't casual. It's primal, permanent, a once-in-a-lifetime imprint. In this video, I'm going to show you who that rare person is, how avoidants test for safety, and why almost everyone fails except the one who doesn't. Let's break this down. Here's why this conversation matters so much. Most of the advice out there about love and relationships tells you to do the exact thing that pushes avoidance away. You've heard it. Right? Chase harder. Demand answers. Text until they respond. Or worse, punish them with silence. And then, when they finally pull back for good, you're left thinking, they never cared about me. Ew, wrong. That story is costing people the most powerful bond of their lives. Avoidants aren't impossible. They're not broken. They're not heartless. What they are is careful. And when you understand the rules of their nervous system, you unlock something most people never get to experience: a love that is quiet, loyal, and permanent. This is about more than romance. It's about healing the deepest wound we carry, the fear that if we show who we really are, we'll be abandoned. Avoidants live with that fear every single day. And the person who learns how to meet them differently doesn't just get their love, they get their trust, their loyalty, their entire heart. That's why this video matters. Because I'm not just going to explain avoidant attachment. I'm going to show you the rare type of partner who breaks through, why most people fail that test, and how to know if you are the one they'll bond with for life. So let's pull back the curtain on what's really happening inside the mind and the body of the avoidant. Okay, let's bust the biggest myth about avoidance. People think they don't feel. They think behind that calm, collected exterior is just emptiness. Nothing could be further from the truth. Here's the reality. Avoidants often feel more than most people, but they learned early in life that showing those feelings wasn't safe. Imagine a little kid reaching out for comfort, and instead of being met with love, they get distance. Imagine crying and no one comes. That child's nervous system learns a brutal lesson. If I need less, I'll hurt less. Fast forward to adulthood. And what do you see? Someone who looks strong, independent, maybe even detached. But inside, it's a storm. They're not heartless. They're hopeless romantics trapped inside a survival strategy. And here's the paradox. They don't build walls because they hate intimacy. They build walls because they crave it so much, it terrifies them. Letting someone in feels dangerous because to their nervous system, closeness has always equaled pain. But, and this is huge, those walls are not permanent. They're not stone. They're gates. And the right person holds the key. The mistake most people make is trying to break those gates down, chasing harder, demanding more, misinterpreting silence as rejection. That only proves the avoidant's deepest fear. If I show need, I'll be punished. If I trust, I'll be trapped. So the truth about avoidance is this: they're not running from love. They're running from bad love. And when they finally feel safe enough to open that gate, what comes out isn't cold, it's loyalty. depth, and a bond that lasts a lifetime. So if avoidants aren't cold, if they're actually just protecting something incredibly valuable, the question becomes, who do they trust enough to open that vault? Here's the answer. Avoidants don't bond with just anyone. They bond with someone rare, someone whose presence doesn't feed their fear. Good dissolves it. This person is calm. They're steady. Their nervous system doesn't go into panic when the avoidant pulls back. They don't chase. They don't beg. They don't collapse under silence. Instead, they know that distance isn't rejection. It's breathing space. And because they don't make it personal, the avoidant finally starts to relax. Think of it like this. Most people try to kick the door down. They pound, they demand, they rattle the lock until the avoidant runs even farther. But the rare person, they don't kick. They wait at the gate with patience and consistency. And when the avoidant peeks out, this person isn't angry. They aren't clingy. They're simply steady. That steadiness is magnetic. It sends one powerful message. You are safe. You are free. And you are still loved. And that's when everything shifts. For the first time, the fortress that felt protective starts to feel like a prison. And in the presence of this rare person, the avoidant chooses on their own terms to unlock the gates. Here's the truth. The avoidant doesn't bond with the loud one, the anxious one, or the self-righteous one. They bond with the calm one, the consistent one. The one who proves love isn't a cage, it's freedom. And when they find that bond lasts a lifetime. Now, here's where most people fail. And they fail fast. They meet an avoidant. They feel that spark. And suddenly, every instinct they have tells them chase harder, blow up their phone, demand reassurance, close the gap before it grows. And guess what? That's the exact move that detonates the connection, because to an avoidant, chasing feels like pressure. Pressure feels like danger. And danger confirms their worst fear. If I trust, I'll be trapped. Here's the second way people fail. They punish the avoidant for pulling back. Maybe it's snarky comments. Maybe it's the cold shoulder. Maybe it's a fight every time silence shows up. And to the avoidant that says, if I show you my real rhythm, I'll be punished. The third failure is misinterpretation. You see distance and immediately decide it's rejection. You assume silence equals abandonment. So you spiral, lash out, or collapse. And what happens? The avoidant sees proof yet again that closeness equals chaos. Let me make this clear. You cannot force an avoidant into safety. You cannot lecture their nervous system into calm. Safety is proven through presence, not pressure, through consistency, not demon. And this is why most people never get past the walls. They treat avoidance as a problem to fix instead of a strategy to understand. They come in hot. They push too hard. And they mistake survival behavior for a lack of love. The truth, avoidants aren't running from love. They're running from bad love, love that clings, controls, or consumes. And if you don't know the difference, you'll fail the test before the bond even begins. So what happens when an avoidant finally bonds with someone? Let me tell you, this isn't casual. It's not a fling. It doesn't look like the rom-com version of Love with Fireworks. Daily, I miss you texts. And over-the-top public displays. No, Avoidant love runs deeper. It's keter. It's steadier. Think of it like wolf love. Wolves don't make a parade out of loyalty. They live loyalty. Once the pack is chosen, it's for life. That's exactly how an avoidant bonds. They may not gush every day. They may not post about you constantly, but behind the scenes, they are fiercely protective. You'll see it in subtle ways. Maybe they quietly rearrange their schedule to protect your time together. Maybe they fix something for you without ever announcing it. Maybe, in a rare unguarded moment, they reach for your hand. To outsiders, it might look small, but to the one chosen, it feels seismic. Because here's the shift. The walls that once kept everyone out now become walls that protect the bond itself. They guard you. They defend the relationship. They don't just fall in love. They integrate you into their nervous system. This is why avoidant love feels so different. It's not loud. It's not flashy. It's not about performance. It's about presence. When they're all in. And once that bond is formed, it rewires everything. They don't fall in and out of love 10 times a year. They may only truly bond once. And when they do, it's primal, permanent, a soul level imprint that doesn't fade. Now let's get practical. How do you actually know if you're the one an avoidant has bonded with? Remember, they're not going to shout it from the rooftops. They're not going to flood your phone with heart emojis. With avoidance, it shows up in whispers, not megaphones. Sign number 1, they let you into their private world. Most people only ever see the polished exterior, the competent, composed version. But with you, they share their fears, their failures, maybe even the childhood wounds they've never told anyone. If they show you that side, you're not just dating, you've crossed into sacred territory. Sign number 2, their withdrawal feels different. With most people, space means rejection. But with you, their silence feels more like rest. They trust that you won't chase, collapse, or punish. And the biggest shift, they come back every time because home is with you. Sign number 3, small gestures become seismic. Maybe they quietly fix something in your house. Maybe they protect your time by shifting their schedule. Maybe, in a rare moment, they reach for your hand. These are not small. They are avoidant love notes written in action. Sign number 4, their edges soften. They're still independent, but with you, the sharpness fades. They're less armored, more open. And here's the biggest sign of all. You stop chasing. You feel chosen, not loudly, not dramatically, but in a steady, unshakable way. That's when you know you've passed the test. You're the rare one. And once an avoidant chooses you, that bond isn't temporary. It's for life. Here's something nobody tells you. Avoidants are constantly testing, not in a manipulative, game-playing way, but in a survival way. Every silence, every wall, every pause, it's not random. It's their nervous system asking one question: are you safe? And here's the kicker. You don't even know you're taking the test. The first test is the silence test. When they go quiet, do you stay calm or do you blow up their phone? Spiral and demand reassurance. Pass this test and you prove that their silence isn't going to break you. The second test is the space test. When they pull back, can you respect it without revenge? Or do you slam the door, punish them, and make it about you passing this? Says your rhythm is safe with me. The third test is the consistency test. Avoidants have lived through broken promises, affection given, and then ripped away. So they check, will you show up the same today, tomorrow, and next week? Consistency is how you earn brick by brick until the wall